It's pleasure to be here. Very impressive talk from other panel members. Good to see Santosh Babu, my friend, MBS Mani, MBS and Bala. Yeah, let me share my screen. Set a context. We are a technology company which is fully focused on science. All we do is around drug discovery, development, translation research. So we blend technology with science. All the things we do is around something which has a direct impact to mankind. To give you an idea, we work in more than currently we work with more than 15 different COVID studies. Some of the new therapies which are getting introduced in the country, we have a direct contribution from the informatics side. So we have this huge advantage, as Shankar mentioned, being a bioinformatics company that which blends science and technology. Today, I'm going to focus around an early warning system, a prediction system. The virus, the pandemic, has created a very different environment. A lot of the other panel members talked about patient care, infrastructure management, post-care, vaccine management, triaging, and my focus is purely early warning system. I have a dream, and I clearly want to see in Tamil Nadu a mechanism where we should be able to accurately predict with a very high level of confidence, almost like what we do today when you see this orange colored NRDF, the disaster team, support team, which lands before a cyclone. Because this wave really, it's like a cyclone. Today, I'm reasonably sure we all know, in days and probably a week, Chennai will quickly recover. You'll see a huge amount of beds getting vacated, the resources being available. Chennai will be out, you'll have Coimbatore coming in, then Tirupur, you will see this trend. So there's a certain fluctuating seasonal impact this provides. It's almost like a cyclonating you. So you need that time as an essence, and building this early warning system is extremely important. And this early warning system is complicated because all your interventions comes with a cost. We talk about lockdown, any kind of restriction comes with a huge cost. So we need to build a system with that level of confidence where we are willing to invest and spend at cost. For that, we need scientific evidence. I'll provide you certain background and my thinking and why it is so. This virus is extremely agile, mobile, and mutating. We are talking about 3.7 mutations per month. And that's a level of the complexity of the enemy we are talking about. For us to address this situation, we really need a strategy, which is a super strategy which has put us a step ahead of the virus. That's exactly what we have in a weather monitoring system. We exactly know what is going to happen with Yash, and reasonable confidence whether Tamil Nadu will be impacted, Andhra will be impacted. Are we talking about West Bengal? Reasonable comfort in terms of timeline. And that doesn't happen a month, 2 months in advance. That happens just on time. Adequate response we were able to do. That's not the case 30 years ago. And that's a kind of a system we have to build. And that system is built on peacetime. Today, I'm not going to talk about triaging. I'm not talking about patient care. I'm not going to talk about infrastructure. I think I'm only focused on the next wave. And that's extremely important. For us to build it, we need to fix the roof, the leaking roof, when it is not raining. And it's almost like nurturing and building an army at peacetime to ensure we have a strong position when we have a war. I will give you a little scientific context and tell you what exactly we need to do. For those of you, gives you a distribution of variance for Kerala as a snapshot of April 2021. Basically, the yellow part is your B1.617.2, what is otherwise called as the Indian variant. Now, there is no diversity in terms of mutation now. When you have a wave, it's pretty much dominated by this variant. This variant was zero. Contribution from this variant was 0% very recently. In less than 60 days, this variant moves from 0% to as high as 50-60%. In some of the district is completely 100%. And this is extremely critical. A lot of this kind of a tsunami that happens is because of this rogue variants. What will cause the next wave? You have a rogue variant coming into the country, a rogue variant coming from other states into Tamil Nadu, or a variant getting created within. These are the only possibilities for the next wave. And this, without worrying about a lot of science and details, this virus is mutating in a very systemic, gradual way. That means it is not taking a huge jump in terms of variations. The variations are very gradual and takes very small steps forward and gathers those variations. So it doesn't take a normal huge step. It's a very gradual small steps forward as far as variation is concerned. That gives us a big positive news. The positive news is we would be able to predict what are those finite options of variations, what we can expect next. So if you see this graph, you have you have 2-dimension, a rogue variant, a variant of concern should have 2-dimension. One is the increased transmissibility, or it escapes, it is an immune escape. It doesn't respond to your vaccine. It doesn't respond to neutralizing antibody. Now from B, you have a B.1, and then you have those famous UK variant of 1.1.7, then your 6.7.2, what is otherwise called the Indian variant. You have when it has a lot more immune escape, when it moves on the x-axis, you can see the 1.3551, the South African variant, and the Brazil variant. So the question mark variant is what you can expect next. Either it is in the little more in the upper direction or in the left, and it's just a finite number of probably two dozen option. You can actually constantly look for it. Early, the point you see it is almost like a slight depression appearing in the Bay of Bengal, well ahead of time. And we need to build that kind of a weather monitoring system equivalent for the state of Tamil Nadu. So we know confidently the moment that depression appears. And that needs to be done, created, nurtured, built confidently at peacetime now for our next wave and for further waves. Why is that important? Because a lot of pharmacological interventions, in simple terms, enforcement of lockdown, surgical lockdown at street level, at a certain district level, city level, all comes with a cost. You need very high level of confidence to do before you get into the firefighting mode. A lot of times it is done during a firefighting mode. Friends, there's a very recent Nature paper which basically says from the point a variant emerges, closer to that point, you introduce lockdown. They said non-pharmacological intervention. In simplistic way, that's the only tool today we have. So the moment you have a new variant that popped up and you introduce a lockdown right away, you save life in a very, very big way. In 50 to 100 times, there's a reduction in mortality. That's a paper appeared in Nature a few days ago. So 50 to 100 times reduction in mortality. So that's time assistance. But for us to do it, it's easy to do it when things are all happening, when there is already damage happening. But we need science and evidence to do it well in advance. So we would love to see a proper genomic surveillance system. Very simple. We just take 25 samples at every weekly interval at a district level. Take it, sequence it, do analytics, and we would be able to publish actions in terms of what do we do. And public policies can be decided based on this evidence. That is very surgical, not broad-based, and with a very high level of confidence. For this to be done, it has to be done with uniformity. That means you can't look at certain districts alone. You need to do it all districts. You never know where this new problem variant would come in. You need to ensure you have enough diversity in terms of a good representative sample. You don't look at certain type of hospitals alone. Don't look at ICU patients and critical patients alone. Good spread, good schools, and all kind of combinations we need to bring in terms of diversity, in terms of samples. And we cannot just do it for a very short period as a quick firefighting response. It needs to be done in a very sustained way. So it is almost like a weather monitoring is what we need to build in. It's not a huge investment. It's just require actions and process and methodology and put in place. You will have phenomenal results. We have something similar done in Kerala, and they had New York Times talks about it also. And we need to do it in Tamil Nadu very, very soon. And this is in terms of ongoing surveillance. So you would get that information saying Chennai is going to go next in 4 or 5 weeks, and this is going to happen. And when would that happen in Madurai? In which district? And that's the kind of information we can confidently provide. Another is all about, is there a way we can digitally have a crowdsourced abnormal activity that can be reported by anybody? It can be by the panchayat, the self-help group, the hospitals, or any citizen, they can report it. So we have somebody traveled in, there's a spurt. There is a certain spurt in an hotel, and anything that happens, we go, we sequence, we say, is this because of a human behavior or is it because of a variant? Moment it is a variant, you will have a macro event coming up. If it's a human behavior, it will slow down. So we should be able to confidently talk about what is happening. So it needs to be it's strongly an evidence-based. Crowdsourced, decentralized. This can be successful only if it's decentralized. It has to be digital, it has to be simple. So we can pick up signals everywhere. And this is our aspiration. We need to just do it. It's a huge value, and we need to build a system confidently. We probably can extend it to other pathogens and other diseases too. These are some of our collaborators, our companies. I've borrowed a lot of information from them just to acknowledge their contribution. And we would love to support. We have a lot of capability, platform, knowledge. We do it for other people. We would love to support. We can fund it through a CFSR the state comes in. And this is a close, very close to art. This is where we come from. We do a lot of work globally. We'd love to do it for the Tamil Nadu state.
I wish I was in government right now, because I would have straightway connected Raj to the Chief Minister and said, this is something which we need to do immediately, because cost is not an issue here. It's about speed and about the ability to predict the next wave and to do it very precisely with the help of technology, artificial intelligence, etc. I think, Pugar, I think you should connect Raj to the Chief Minister's office. I will also try to do that through Udai Chandran. But this is something which we need to do for Tamil Nadu, and it's not as if we don't have the people to do this. But if somebody has done it already, and it's a question of using their expertise. I'm hats off to Raj and his team for the wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you, Santosh Babu. Sir. I think this is extremely important. I think we just need to do it. It's, as I said, let's fix the roof when it is not raining, and sit with confidence that we know if it's going to happen. We know 4 weeks in advance.
Absolutely. This is only a question of data aggregation. That's all. And giving the right data to the right set of people, and you'll get the storm warning as early as possible. That's amazing. I'm so happy seeing this. I'm so happy to actually put this.
If Raj can share the presentation with us, we'll forward it to the authorities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not only forward. I don't think you should forward. You should go and meet with the CM or whoever is there, and health secretary, and just tell them to set this up as ASAP, and let's see the results.
To add what Sir Santosh Babu sir said, whatever Raj has done, we have replicated the similar model last year, but it was not so as structured as what it is today, because the kind of what we have seen 1 year has got an excellent result from you, Raj. The challenge what we face, sir, probably may continue to face, is the integration of data between the department. That would be the challenge, because the platform is ready, AI tool is ready, engine is ready, dashboards are ready, but without data, what to do? That was the biggest challenge we face. I think if you could address it, as Santosh Babu said, if it is dealt with highest authority, then I think it's a different ballgame.
I think we should, he's our person, we should be encouraging the company to do this for us.
Absolutely. I think we are looking at picking up the existing RT-PCR samples, ensure it is diversified, and constantly sniff it. It's almost like setting up the tsunami flotation device. We need to have those probes. I would love to do it, Pugar, if there's anywhere, if there is, we can present it, we can structure it. Would love to do that. It is very close to art.
Sure, definitely.
Pugar, can I just show you a portal?
Yep.
Jaishankar, if I can show you a portal, just it will take 5 minutes. 1 minute to show it. See, at the global level, at the state level, at chief minister's level, we should have that kind of, this kind of thing that, so this is a Kerala Jagrada portal. This is something we should learn from. And, everything is integrated here. You look at transit, you look at permits and passes, surveillance, COVID care centers, tests and contacts, containment zones, cluster, visitor register, patient management, ambulance, hospitals, enforcement, vulnerable people, COVID brigade, that's volunteers, event register. So everything you can click and actually go and see, for example, transit. If you click, you can go to a district, let's say Ernakulam, and get the transit. So domestically registered, how many vehicles are there, how many entry points have been crossed, international registered, how many. So this data dashboard, probably in a BA form, would be extremely useful for as a decision support system for the chief minister and others to take decisions. This is one thing which is lacking in our state. We have different legacy systems, I agree. But today we have the APIs. We just need to share the APIs, and all this we can integrate into one portal. Bala, I would certainly request you to champion this, because it's something which I look for and I don't find.